welcome to Canvassing 101. My name is Paula Blair, and I am the zone leader for the Lehigh area, and I'm going to go through some best practices for reaching voters at the door. These are things that we found are helpful. It's a very short presentation, but it's important that you know this before you go to your first launch. We're going to talk about how you prepare for a Canvass launch, what happens at the launch, what's actually on your clipboard, COVID safety measures, how you engage with the voter at the door, and then I'm going to model some ways that you could deal with voters who may be a little bit difficult. Now, before the Canvass launch, it's important to get at least a little bit of training. You're not expected to be an expert. You're going to be paired up with a more experienced canvasser, and you're going to learn from them. So the most important thing is this presentation, which you're taking right now, and the minivan training, which is another very short video that you can watch. Once you're comfortable with canvassing, then you can take Canvassing 102, in which you don't have a script and you're dealing with different kinds of voters at different doors, and you're going to have talking points. And the other very useful training is voter registration training. It's offered the first Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. And it's required by state law if you're going to register voters. If you don't have that, don't worry. You'll be paired up with someone who does have it. But it's a really good skill to have because you never know when you're going to run into a voter that you want to register. And this is at mobilize.us. You can find the link to register for that, but it's the first Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. The other thing you want to do before the launch is familiarize yourself with the main points of the script. You'll get a script on your clipboard, and you will also have it on your cell phone. But you do not need to memorize the script. You just need to know the main points. After you've knocked on a couple of doors, it's just going to come naturally to you. And I'm going to give you an example on the next slide. Let's say that you're trying to re-enroll people in vote by mail, and you have a list of people who've been dropped out. Many of them don't even know that they're dropped out. You knock on the door, and you're going to just really quickly get into it. Hi, Joe Smith. I'm Paula Blair with the Democratic Party of Lehigh County, and I see that our records show that you've been dropped from vote by mail. I'd like to get you re-enrolled right now. Would you like me to fill out the form, or would you rather do it? We can get this done in just a couple of minutes. All you need is your driver's license. So you're going to jump right into that. You really want to be assertive because you want to leave the door with that form in hand. A lot of people want to do it later, or they want to do it online. And obviously, if they want to do that, you're going to need to let them do that. But you want to try to discourage it. Just say, well, you know what? Let's just get this done. I'll turn it in for you. It'll go straight to the supervisor of elections. You can double check online. And that way you don't even have to think about it again. We can get this done in a minute. And if you fill it out for them, a lot of people are much happier. Then they don't like filling out paperwork. So be ready to just fill it out for them. You can write quickly. You know exactly what's required. So be assertive. Really try to get that form filled out at the door so that you can drop it off back with your Canvass captain. Now, these questions in red are follow-ups. Are there any other voters in your house you need to re-enroll? If they say, yes, I have 2 other family members and they're out of the house, then leave them 2 forms. You can get them right off your clipboard. You're going to have about 10 English voter registration, VBM re-enrolls, on your clipboard. And you'll also have some Spanish ones. Ask them if there are any unregistered voters in the house. It'd be good to get some people registered. And ask if they're very enthusiastic, ask them if they're interested in volunteering with us. Get their name. And a lot of people suggest getting the email at the bottom of that vote by mail form because then we'll have it for our records and the supervisor of elections will also have it. So if you think of it, remind them to put their email at the bottom of that form. Now, before the launch, you also want to dress comfortably. Be aware of the weather. You want t-shirts with appropriate affiliations, nothing that's going to embarrass the Democratic Party. It's pretty good just to wear a blue shirt. Sneakers are best, or comfortable shoes, because you're going to be on your feet. You have to wear a mask. And it's recommended that you have an umbrella because the weather can be very unpredictable, particularly during the summer. Now, before the canvas, if you will have a person you would like to be paired up with, let the canvas captain know beforehand so they can plan on that. Otherwise, we'll just probably pair a more experienced volunteer with a less experienced volunteer. And take a picture of your vaccination card before the launch so that you can prove that you've been vaccinated. You're going to be riding in the car with other people, and we really don't want to put our volunteers at risk. At the canvas launch, you want to find your canvas captain and listen carefully to any instructions. You're going to get a clipboard, and the first thing on the clipboard will be a map of the area that you're doing, and there's going to be a list number up here in the corner. That's what you're going to put in your cell phone. And if you don't know Minivan, just watch that video and you will be shown. It's nothing to get nervous about. It's very simple. And you want to make sure that that list number comes up before you leave the launch site. And you can find the first address you plan to go to and just put that in Google Maps and it'll take you right there. And wear your lanyard with your name tag. You want to look official. Now, what's on this clipboard I'm talking about? You're going to have vote by mail re-enroll forms in English and in Spanish. And you're going to have a few voter registration forms in both English and Spanish. So you want to look through the clipboard just to be familiar with what's on it. There's also probably going to be a little Ziploc bag that has, they're the size of business cards. They're these SB90 disclosure cards. And if you take the voter registration training, you'll find out that this is required. It's a disclaimer to let people know that they can drop these papers off themselves or they can do it online. So we just give that to them if we register a voter. And also, if you have a convicted felon with questions, we have another card that has contact information because these rules are changing all the time. But there are lawyers who will help them. So we'll go ahead and give them the contact information so they can contact this organization. Now, all volunteers are required to show proof of vaccination to participate. You have to wear masks. You need to stay distanced. Don't get up close to the voter. You can ask them to step outside with you, but do not go into their house. Even if they invite you, you're going to meet a lot of very, very friendly people who like to see you and want to talk to you, but don't go into their house. Tell them that you're just not allowed with the COVID restrictions. Don't shake their hands and wipe your pens with provided wipes after each use. You will get a little baggie of wipes or you can bring one of your own. When you arrive at the voter's home, you want to park on the street in front of the house. Do not block the driveway and do not block the mailbox. You knock and you ask for the voter by name. I have heard it recommended that you can call out their name as you knock. They're more likely to answer. Smile, be friendly. Most of these people are very happy to see us. Identify yourself and include the group you're with as well as the Democratic Party of Lee County because we're working in conjunction. So you could say, hi, I'm Paula with the Black Caucus and the Democratic Party of Lee County. Run through the script. And remember, this is just bullet points. You do not have to memorize it word for word. Remember to leave a door hanger. If they're not there, hang it on their door. But only leave one door hanger per house because any other paperwork you need will be on the clipboard. Because those door hangers, they take a while to stuff. So we really only need one per home. And when you leave the house, enter the data into Minivan and sync it just to make sure it's saved. And that's super easy. You'll see that in the next presentation. Now, don't engage with people who are children or under 18. You just don't want to get yourself in an uncomfortable situation. Just ask if their parents are home, and if they're not, you can leave a door hanger and then just go. If they have a sign, no trespassing, keep out. If there's a fence with a gate that you have to go through to get to the front door, don't go in it. Just skip that house. If they're angry or disrespectful, do not engage with them. Be polite. So say you knock on the door and the voter says, "Oh, you're a Democrat. Democrats are socialists. I can't stand Democrats." You just say, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for your time. You have a good day," and you just move away. Do not engage. You are not there to change minds or get into arguments, and it can actually be dangerous. So you want to just be very friendly, take the high road, and walk away. If there is a GOP bumper sticker or a big Trump sign or something like that, don't even knock on that door. Just keep going. So really, that's all there is to it. You're going to learn a lot as you do it. When you do your very first Canvass, you're going to come away feeling really good. You're going to meet a lot of very nice people, and you feel like you're doing some good for the state. So anyway, go ahead after this presentation, look at the minivan presentation, just so you're familiar with it, but you will be shown at the launch how to use that. And thank you for stepping up to Flip Florida Blue in 22. And my contact information is on the bottom there. So if you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you for your time and good luck.